Stand, 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 stand. Stand and sing of Zambia, proud and free, land of work and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for the right. We've won freedom's fight, oh, one strong and free. Bonse tulibana b'Afrika, uwasena minwa na lesa, nomba bonse twendele pamo, twalilubula, twikatane bonse. Jinga jomwen chotulilila, mbule mualumu no mujisi, mbulisi wazembwa uluga. Zambia omubotu tonse tuswangane. Timtamande Mungu watu adalise. Zambia, Zambia omasuka, pasipande bendera yatu, pasipande bendera yatu. Zambia timtamande ugozi tipavu.
Praise be to God.
Praise be, praise be.
Bless our great nation.
Zambia, Zambia, free may we stand under the flag of our land. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one strong and free.
It is said, the highest tribute to the dead is not grief but gratitude. Born a proud son of Chinsali, Northern Rhodesia, your heart was one that always sung freedom and unity for the people of Zambia. For generations gone and generations yet to come, TIYENDE, PAMODZI. In the fight against apartheid and colonial rule, when bravery and courage were rare, when the whip of the oppressor bruised the bare melanin skin of our forefathers, you dared speak for the liberation of Central and Southern Africa. Amongst the Tembu tribe of South Africa, stories of your bravery will forever be heard, for there you broke bread with ANC's Nelson Mandela, making Zambia the harbor for Africa's fight for freedom. Over the Mount Nyangeni of Zimbabwe, your generosity remains a testament amongst ZANU's Robert Mugabe and ZAPU's Joshua Nkomo. Past the Kunene River of Namibia to the Swapo, the Coral Islands of Mozambique to the Frelimo, the Zanzibar shores of Tanzania, through the Kalahari Desert of Botswana, into the Tundavala Fisia of Angola to the MPLA, your song has been heard by all our neighbors. TIYENDE, PAMODZI. Your tune had an irreplaceable rhythm in the pitch for Southern Africa's quest for freedom. At high cost to you and Mother Zambia, you sang TIYENDE, PAMODZI, MUTIMA, UMO. For you believed that Zambia's freedom would be meaningless if its neighbors could not be liberated. So with wits as mighty as the Zambian eagle, you soared and the melody of Ubuntu marched into our homeland, where you united the people of Zambia. 72 tribes became one Zambia, one nation, one people. TIYENDE, PAMODZI, MUTIMA, UMO. When the time to relinquish power to the next generation came, though unpopular of African leaders at the time, you willingly decided to do what was right, and in came Dr. Frederick Chiluba. When HIV sought to cripple the nation, you fought back, for you were born and died a fighter, and in us left the wheel of fire to to blind justice, hang corruption, and break the shackles of greed and ignorance. And now, at 97, this proud old flag soars higher than ever before, proud and free for all to see, as you go to your new homeland across the shore.
He's gone. He's gone gently into that good night as old age banged and raged at the close of day we rage. We rage today as a nation against the dying of our night in the light of day. He was the last wave of our lakes and seas, but now they are still and the nation is still. So come with me in the silence of night. Come with me in the speaking silence of a giant who has fallen, cause yes, we'll miss him. We'll miss him in the weeping of the rain. We'll miss him in the scorching of the African sun. We'll miss him in the freezing days. We'll miss him in the spring times. And yes, we'll miss him every 24th October, a door he opened for Zambia's rest. I recall grandma's stories about him, stories of his strong deeds that had danced in the streets of Zambia, how he caught and sang our slavery in flight, how his words forked not, spake only peace, truth, and unity. But today, he's gone into that good night. And we stand stricken, remembering him, even in places where his foot did not step or his face shone, we remember him. And that's why we will not look for him at the graveyards or look for him at his deathbed, because he will not be there. He will be on every tongue of every Zambian. He will be in every street of every city. He will be in every place his foot did not step. He will be in our memories as we remember him. Our founding father has gone into that good night, but his deeds are awake every morning.
Your life and legacy forms the foundations that we, the younger generations, build on in the strive to develop our nation. We take pride in the melanin of our skin, holding true that there is a great evil in this world, but it has no color. And no matter how we slice it, hate's greatest victim is always the person that harbors it. So we choose to love. For the torch is in our hands now. Our commitment is to hold fast these virtues that mold us: love, respect for all man despite differences in opinions and beliefs, for we all bleed the same. To honor our founding father, I pray that we never forsake our culture of oneness, that we forever live by what's right under God, not what's popular, that the truth never be dictated by the corrupt narrative of a few. So if ever the sun shines,
if ever the Zambezi River flows,
if ever the fields yield,
if ever the salt of Ingombe Ilede be tested,
if ever the Mosi Otunya thunders,
if ever the eagle flies,
and if ever our anthem is sung, may we remember your great courage, sacrifice, and love.
Farewell, gallant son of Africa. You lived and died singing the tune of unity and liberty. TIYENDE, PAMODZI, MUTIMA, Umo.
We in Zambia are peaceful people, peace-loving. I challenge anyone to say today here that Zambia is a warmongering nation. We have done all these things in search of peace, but it has to be genuine peace, based on sincere, genuine majority rule. Zambians will be born out of our blood.
TIYENDE PAMODZI DIMTIMA UMODZI TIYENDE PAMODZI DIMTIMA UMODZI TIYENDE DIMTIMA UMODZI Atate Kaunda Tiza Kuyewani. Atate Kaunda Tiza Kuyewani. Atate Kaunda Tiza Kuyewani. Pumbulani mwa mutendere. You fought for the freedom of Zambia, let us free from our oppressor's hand. So now we can stand and sing for Zambia, proud and free. The history of Africa cannot be complete without your love for her freedom. You inspired hope to all. A humble teacher, you were. Tiende PAMODZI dimtima umbo. Tiende PAMODZI dimtima umozi. Tiende PAMODZI dimtima umozi. Tiende dimtima umozi. Atate Kaunda Tiza Kuyewani. Atate Kaunda Tiza Kuyewani. Atate Kaunda Tiza Kuyewani. Pumbulani mwa mutendere. Chikundi chanu demonstrated by bringing us together. Your leadership uniting the nation, diverse languages and one flag. You preached unity to all mankind. Yeah, you preach freedom to all. And for this vision, you were willing to die. For the struggle, you fought for the cause. Oh, we'll remember you as a father of a nation. We'll remember you as we sing Tiende. Tiende PAMODZI dimtima umozi. Tiende PAMODZI dimtima umozi. Tiende dimtima umozi. Atate Kaunda Tiza Kuyewani. Atate Kaunda Tiza Kuyewani. Atate Kaunda Tiza Kuyewani. Pumbulani mwa mutendere. Atate Tiende. Atate Tiende.
All men are great, none greater than another. But some men surrender, while others fight and duck for cover. None could be said to be more valiant than another, but surrender is only seen as great if for a friend, lover, or brother. Graciously his white handkerchief waves as a sign of surrender, not to defeat, but to a fight like no other. Diligently he gave his life to serve all the people. Won the fight for independence. We are free, therefore there will be no sequel. Proudly we sing our national anthem. What a powerful song. Rightfully, like his fellow legendary African giants, he will continue to receive his accolades long after his transition. May your soul rest in peace, Dr. Kenneth David Kaunda.
You like it?
Zambia does not have the capacity to strike back at the enemy because the enemy has been prepared for the last 60, 70 years, South Africa, for the last 54 years, Rhodesia. What's more, centuries behind them coming from the Western countries. I have allowed Smith to come here on a number of occasions in search of peace. But I'm a man with a conscience, clear conscience. God is hearing me. I can never sell out that. Never. Not me. Not these boys here. Not these girls here. We are men and women of principle. We have done all these things in search of peace. But it has to be genuine peace. Based on sincere, genuine majority rule. Anything else, you can kill us. Zambians who will be born out of our blood will continue to fight. We are such a people.
Kenneth David Kaunda was born on April 28, 1924, the youngest of 8 children. He served as Zambia's first president from 1964 to 1991. Early in life, President Kaunda was fascinated with the struggle for independence. He led a massive civil disobedience campaign against British colonial rule when Zambia was called Northern Rhodesia. Battling tough odds, his ability to break away from the Northern Rhodesian African National Congress political party to form his political party, the United National Independence Political Party, did not come easy. After repeated hardships, he won the hearts and minds of ordinary Zambians to lead the Southern African nation to independence. Succumbing to international pressure, Kaunda was forced to change the rules that kept him in power. Multi-party elections took place in 1991 in which Frederick Chiluba, the leader of the movement for multi-party democracy, ousted Kaunda after nearly 27 years at the helm of the country. Kaunda's strained relations with the later President Frederick Chiluba reached a low point when Kaunda was arrested on December 25, 1997 and sent to a maximum security prison. Later, Kaunda was placed under house arrest. After losing his son to HIV and AIDS in the late 80s, Kaunda created the Kenneth Kaunda Children's of Africa Foundation, which paid for food, medical care, and the education for AIDS orphans. According to the U.S. Agency for International Development, Kaunda became the first African leader to publicly announce that AIDS had affected his family. In 2017, I accompanied Shaka Sali, the retired longtime host of Voice of America's Straight Talk Africa program, to Zambia and met the former president at his residence outside of Lusaka. Kaunda was an avid fan of Straight Talk Africa, a show he said he watched regularly over the years. The gracious Kaunda gave us a tour of his residence and treated us to his skills on the piano. President Kenneth Kaunda will be best remembered as a champion for African liberation in the struggle for independence. Paul Ndiho, VOA News, Washington.
Hello, what a great man indeed. Well, I'll start with my fondest memories of KK, our founding father, commonly known as KK. Well, my memories really start when I was at secondary school. And I remember, lining up to, everybody when we're at school, all lining up to actually wait for KK, just to have a glimpse of him. And everybody was like, just was intrigued by his presence. Those were my fondest memory of him. And just obviously the free education and the free books we got at school. My mom was a single parent, and she obviously managed to take us to school because obviously KK gave us free education. And fast forward, I joined ZNBC as a broadcaster and journalist, and I had a one-to-one with KK where I would go to State House for morning breakfast, and he would actually serve us with scones and tea, and we just had a one-to-one with him. And he just had a way with journalists, and where he just and spoke to you, and he just, there was this thing about KK where he would just he was so dignified, and he spoke to you with such respect. And he just we were very personal with him. And even when he had his press conference, we would be ask him questions, and he would actually knew all of us by name. And he would say, "Oh, Tawala Chimpampa," and he would ask the question. And if you misbehaved, he was saying "stupid idiot," or he would just, he would even fire people on the spot. And he was just such a great man. And for me, my fondest memories are just for instilling that sense of patriotism in us, of One Zambia, One Nation. And for me, that's what I would remember him most by, of where he actually, brought together 73 tribes, and we're all together. And if I'm honest, when I was a child, I never knew my friends' tribes. A name was just a name. My friends, only now that I'm 52 and I'm thinking, oh, that one was Bemba, that one was Tonga. And it's so heartbreaking now to see what's happening in our country, where everybody's, saying, oh, this one, because they can't do this, because they're Bemba, they're Tonga, they're Lozi. And it's all just one, we're all just one people, to be honest. And we thank God for KK having brought Zambia together. And I was in Egypt recently, and when you say you were Zambian, it was like KK or KK11. And I have such fond memories of that. And it's such a pity he's gone, and we just thank God for having given us a person like KK. And he'll be fondly missed, to be honest. And we thank God for his life. And even the KK11, and I think, he just brought the whole country together. Even once you mentioned KK11, KK11 was synonymous with KK. And just with his great smile and his great humor, his sense of humor. And I think, he's just a great man, and may his soul rest in peace, and we'll miss him. And I would like to just thank you, Online Radio, for giving me this opportunity to speak from the heart about KK. And for sure, I will have such fond memories of him. And I will hand you back to the studio. And thank you so much. God bless.
Wimbo nshinala imba Lipepo nshinala pepa Mashi winshinala sosa Kubusumo bwa kwa leso Nalasa nsula vyeshi widya nyumo lwimbo Nokutila Hallelujah Hallelujah Wimbo nshinala imba nero Wimbo nshinala imba palilelo Pepo nshinala pepa nero Pepo nshinala pepa inakuti Wimbo nshinala imba nero Wimbo nshinala imba palilelo Pepo nshinala pepa nero Pepo nshinala pepa inakuti Mashi wishi nala sosa Kulimweleza wa Ayala londololo kulondololo kulisha Mashi wishi nala sosa Kulimweleza wa Ayala londololo Ayala kulimutima wani Ponze poine na nyantata Nganindala nganimbuka tata nishinga wekwa Kumakwebo ya ndino Kumakwebo kuliansangwa tata nishinga wekwa Kushanchito kuliansangwa tata nishinga wekwa Mashi wishi nalasosa Kulimweleza wa Ayala londololo kutasha Kulimumutima wa Mashi wishi nalasosa Kulimweleza wa Ayala londololo kutasha Kulimumutima wandi Nangu shiriko kunganda Abana bandina Nangu shiriko kunganda Abakashi bandina Nangu shenda na olyonse Abandume bandina Nangu shiba okonsoko Nangu shiriko kunganda Abana bandina Nangu shiriko kunganda Abakashi bandina Nangu shiba okushanchito Abandume bandina Nangu shiba okonseko Mashi wishi nalasosa Ayala londololo kutasha Mashi wishi nalasosa Ayala londololo kutasha Pepo nshinala pepa ila kutili ufike ukoli Mashi wishi nalasosa kulimweleza wandi Ayala londololo kutasha kulimumutima wandi Mashi wishi nalasosa kulimweleza wandi Ayala londololo kutasha kulimumutima wandi Shibako kunganda Imamuzungila Nangu shibako kunganda Imamuzungila Nangu shibako kushanchito Imamuzungila Nangu shibako konseko Imamuzungila Mashi wishi nalasosa Kulimweleza wa Ayala londolola Mashi wishi nalasosa Ayala londolola
Well, I guess we continue reminiscing about KK. And just one thing that came to mind is when he would come and, you know, people would have that thing of lesa mkumulu, lesa panshi, le Samumulu le Kaunda Punch. And KK was, may his soul rest in peace. And I hope we can just adopt the One Zambia One Nation that he always preached about.
If God speaks to you, through what He preached to you,
KK. One thing I remember about KK is loved his music. And that's one thing I regret having not done, because I've been in England for about 25 years. And I go back to Zambia every year. And as veterans, we've got like a chat where we do programs. So we've been doing an independence program every year. And one thing I regret is I always begged the producers if we could organize like a show where we could sing, all the veterans sing with KK. And I remember he loved his guitar and his TIYENDE PAMODZI. And that's one thing I regret I didn't do. But I suppose having a one-to-one was enough. And I remember when his chef baked his scones at State House and they were finished, and you tell him you have to make some more for them. And he was just an amazing man. And I remember in his press conference, and when he's firing somebody, he says, "Stupid idiot." Well, I guess, I always said I will live to tell the tale of President Kaunda, even to my children, my children's children, because it's One Zambia, One Nation. And I don't know how he did it, to be honest. He's just such one great man. I will play some more music and we'll be back shortly.
Yesu ndiye njira, choonadi, moyo. Njira zinazi zimakoma iwe timsatire Yesu. Yesu ndiye njira, choonadi, moyo. Njira zinazi simagoma ewe timsatire Yesu. Ni wachifundo, wachikondi, wachisomo. Tisatire Yesu, tinyamule Yesu, tinyamule Yesu. Tinyamule Yesu, oh tinyamule. Tinyamule mfumu, tinyamule Yesu, ulumusi, haleluya. Tinyamule Yesu, tinyamule mfumu, tinyamule Yesu, ulumusi, haleluya. Somebody lift him up. Lift him up, somebody. Familia yawe twanisumbula afintu ifyamwachita yawe ekinandolole amapalo yenu eyo mwampera mweleza wani umumi wanji tata niwe amakayani yawe ni mwema yawe twaminya yawe twasumbule shina yenu yawe tinyamule Yesu tinyamule mfumu
A dark cloud has covered Africa. Zambia's beloved founding father Kenneth Kaunda is no more. A liberation war hero is gone too soon. A reliable African ocean of wisdom has unexpectedly and untimelessly run dry. A true champion of humanity and a fountain of wisdom has untimely departed. A liberation-struck icon with illustrious credentials, an icon and global statesman KK is no more. The last of the great African leaders of his generation, Africa's greatest hero, a great founding father of Pan-Africanism, Kenneth Kaunda, the personifications of courage, humility and integrity. A Zambian and Southern African liberator, our African pain is the ancestors' gain. Heroes don't rest in peace, they rest in power. Rest in power, Kenneth Kaunda. A God-fearing man and a good guitarist have gone too soon. Our marvelous musician is no more. A Chilenge resident, a pillar of Zambia and Africa, a selfless leader, a socialite, a teacher, an African independent facilitator, a loyalty and patriotism specialist, an anti-exploitation of men by men lawmaker. This world is cruel. You saw that from April 28, 1924 to June 2021. Good people are appreciated when they are no more. This world will never and ever be friendly to honest and selfless people. You ran your race, Kenneth. You took your flight and now you have arrived to your destination safely. If I had powers and miracles, I could have said to Kenneth, David, wake up and give you millions of years. Go well, my king. You are on safe hands now. You are with the fearless greatest leaders of your generations. Nkwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, Joshua Mqabo Nyongolo Nkomo, Thomas Isidore Sankara, Steve Bantu Biko, Samora Machel, Patrice Lumumba, Muammar Gaddafi, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, Modibo Keita, Amika Cabral, and the young one John Pombe Magufuli. Tell them exactly we Africans are experiencing from our oppressors. Their spirit should wake up and fight for us. May their spirit guide us. Their spirit should unify Africa. A brave man, Kaunda, who vehemently refused to be bulldozed by abominable system of oppressors. You fought armed oppressors using a guitar and your sweet melody. You cycled singing to all Zambians. TIYENDE PAMODZI NIMTIMA UMOM. TIYENDE PAMODZI NIMTIMA UMOM. TIYENDE PAMODZI NIMTIMA UMOM. Your sweet voice was a unifier. We won't hear it anymore. But your legacy will live forever and ever. An African baobab has fallen. If a grave was measured by a person's contribution, Africa was going to be too small for your grave. God gave us you, Kenneth. God has taken you, Kaunda. Africa is mourning a true gallant son of the soil. We celebrate the life of Kenneth, the great liberator in Africa. Rest in glory, KK, our icon. You ran your race, Kenneth Kaunda. You did what you were born for. You did what you lived for. Until your last breath on earth. You may be gone too soon. Your legacy will live forever. We won't worry about the cause of your death. That's got this program to plan. We'll worry about how Zambians will take Zambia to another level. We'll worry on how Africans will adopt what they learn from you. We'll worry on how Pan-Africanists will soldier on. Rest in power. Rest in peace. Pamzika kwa amani, kredola pa, then krase en pas. Muone gabo titata tuyoshwana kunembo. Uliokehe mulumuno. Munoki mukuunda, mutushe muchivote, mupumule mwamtendele, mupumule ande. Bala kakozo, rest in power, lala ngokolo. Rest in peace, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. Rest in power, Dr. Kenneth David Kaunda. May your gracious soul rest in eternal peace. I am Obed Dube, the African poet.
Rest in eternal peace, indeed, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. And just before we end the show, I just wanted to pass my condolences once again to the Kaunda family. And may the soul of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda rest in peace. And we always remember that he was an icon, last of the giants, and he had an impact on every Zambian, and me in particular, and I'll never forget him. He was a true Pan-African, and my 52 years of life, He has greatly impacted me, and I'll forever remember him, and I'll live to tell the tale. And I'm not a very good singer, but I just thought I could end the show with just trying to sing. I don't have the best voice, but I'll try. Tiyende pamozi ni mtima umo, tiyende pamozi ni mtima umo, tiyende pamozi ni mtima umo, tiyende pamozi ni mtima umo. Let's all live together as Zambians, like we all grew up. It was never about where you come from. It was all about love and unity. And I think that's the best legacy we can give our dearly departed Kenneth Kaunda. He pulled it off. Actually, he reunited us, and we'll forever remember that. And for us to keep his legacy alive, let's always remember One Zambia, One Nation, like we always did before we presented the news or before we did anything. We just said One Zambia, One Nation. And I'm sure he'll be smiling on us and thinking that's the Zambia he would like to see. And thank you so much once again, and have a good evening.
Tiende pamozi ndi mtima umo.
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 Ayuti tiende pamozi. Tiende pamozi. Tiende pamozi ndi mtima umo. Pamozi, tiende pamozi ndi mtima umo. Toloke Limpopo ndi mtima umo. Toloke Limpopo ndi mtima umo. Toloke Zambezi ndi mtima umo. Toloke Zambezi ndi mtima umo. Tiende pamozi. Tiende pamozi ndi mtima umo. Kaunda tiende pamozi. Tiende pamozi. Tiende pamozi ndi mtima umo. 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 Oh, Kaunda tiye, Kaunda tiye, pamozi tiende pamozi ndi mtima. Oh, Kaunda tiye, Kaunda tiye, pamozi tiende pamozi ndi mtima umo. Pamozi ndi mtima umo. Pamozi tiende pamozi ndi mtima umo.
Nangu pinsange ifili kuntanshi ine shishibe ine njikalila fye mulimwe Yesu. Nangu pinsange ine shatine nimwe mwaikatilila umweo wandi ifili kuntanshi
inashishire inenjikalilafye mulimwe Yesu
nangupinsange
inaishatine nimwemwa ikatilila umweo wandi
filikuntanshi ineshishire inenjikalilafye mulimwe Yesu nangupinsange ineshatine nimwemwa ikatilila umweo wandi
ifilikuntanshi inaishishire inenjikalilafye mulimwe Yesu
nangupinsange
inaishatine nimwemwa ikatilila umweo wandi
ukumona kasuba kalelo tekumakayandi nikuluse lwenu mwechibinda wa mweo ukupemo mwela wa lelo tekumakayandi nikuluse lwenu mwechibinda wa mweo
ifilikuntanshi inaishishire inenjikalilafye mulimwe Yesu
nangupinsange
inaishatine nimwemwa ikatilila umweo wandi
amalwele twalwele nabanandi tabapolele lelo ine nalipola nimwe chibinda wa mweo amasanso twalimo nabanandi tabapuswike lelo ine nalipusuka nimwe chibinda wa mweo ifilikuntanshi
inaishishire inenjikalilafye mulimwe Yesu
nangupinsange
inaishatine nimwemwa ikatilila umweo wandi
ati nangupinsange ilelo ndina maka bambi na balwala ndina kuno kuchalichi ndeimba no kushana echo mfuile na mutotela chibinda wa bubumbo tekumakayandi awe ati
filikuntanshi inaishishire inenjikalilafye mulimwe Yesu
nangupinsange
inaishatine nimwemwa ikatilila umweo wandi
ngafilya mwambika tata ngachibinda wana mashonse efyo no mweo wandi waba ngafilya
mwambika tata ngachibinda wana mashonse efyo no mweo wandi waba muminwe yenu
ngafilya mwambika tata ngachibinda wana mashonse efyo no mweo wandi waba ngafilya
mwambika tata ngachibinda wana mashonse efyo no mweo wandi waba
ngafilya
mwambika tata ngachibinda wana mashonse efyo no mweo wandi waba
ufayo we
uchitwe pamweo wenu uchitwe pamweo wenu uchitwe pamweo wenu uchitwe
Stand and sing of Zambia, proud and free, land of work and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for the right. We've won freedom's fight, oh, one, strong and free. Africa is ours as a land, fashioned with and blessed by God's good hands. Let us all people join as one, brothers under the sun, oh, one, strong and free. One Zambia, one nation.